Hi, this is Marika from Hemisphere, and today what I'm going to talk about is just a few variations of a downward pull. Now, obviously I would love to demonstrate a beautiful pull up and into a push through. Unfortunately, I don't have the physical capability of doing that as yet. One day, I hope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show some variations that you can do at home, which can actually just help you build some strength through that particular movement pattern. Now you may or may not have some of this equipment at home, so it's just going to give you a few ideas so you can have a little bit of a play around and see what you have available. What I've got here is just a simple Theraband. I think this is a really nice, easy way of starting out if you want to do a downward pull, like a lat pull down type thing, but maybe you don't have some weights at home, but there might be something that you can loop a bit of Theraband over at home. So what you can do is you could just do like a straight arm pull down. You could start a little bit higher and you could do a bent elbow pull down. You could come down onto the knees. I don't know if you can see me now. Bent elbow pull down, straight elbow pull down. You can play around with single arms. You can change again your footprint, have one leg forward, one leg back, work through different directions. So there's quite a lot that you can play around with a Theraband, different ranges, different lever lengths, different footprints, different starting positions. So Theraband, nice and simple. I actually have a pull-up bar at home. Now, you could probably learn a lot about pull-ups via YouTube, so I'm not going to go through too much in terms of hand position, but you've obviously got, forwards, underneath, out to the side, wider, narrower. There's all sorts of things available. Now, for me, because I'm not particularly strong with this, I actually tend to do a jump up and then an eccentric lower. And what I mean by that is I actually use my legs to give myself a little bit of a pull, and then I lower, 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 and come down, okay? Now, this is just to build some of that upper body strength and abdominal strength, which I don't have as yet. But what I find is that rather than just always relying on bands and things to give me that assistance, if I can work through my own body weight, through that eccentric lowering, then I'm going to start to get that strength to work on that concentric, so that lifting up phase as well. Now, you might think, well, how do you do an overhead pull? There's obviously quite a bit of variety with a TRX, and you can play around with it. But what I'm actually finding quite useful at the moment is actually just going down into a squat and then really trying to put as little weight through my legs as I can and using my arms to do the pull and then the lower. So I'm actually thinking about just drawing my elbows down to my side and then down. And you can obviously change that up by maybe putting your weight on one foot or coming up onto tippy toes, just trying to change that weight distribution. But what I'm really trying to focus on is putting as little weight through my legs as I can, but they are giving me a little bit of assistance so that I can be successful in that movement. Another variation that you could do at home is if you've got a squat rack and you've got a bar, you can use that to pull yourself up on. Now, obviously you need to make sure these are very solid. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come into a bent knee position and I'm just hanging, and actually that feels really quite nice. But what I'm going to do from there is just do a pull up and down. And yes, I've got some weight through my feet, but I'm still working really quite hard through my upper body to lift that body weight up. So that's another modification that you can do, especially if you're finding it hard to take your whole body weight through a full pull up. Another way you might be able to work on your vertical pull is actually lying on your back using a kettlebell. Now, this is actually a little bit more challenging than it probably looks. I'm going to start with a lighter kettlebell. I'm going to go to 6 kilo and I'm going to work through that upper shoulder flexion range. So I'm going to bring that kettlebell up above my head. And then because I'm actually not that strong in this position, I'm actually going to start by coming into flexion. So bending my elbow, and then I'm going to push up above my head here, and then I'm going to draw the elbow down to my side and then work all the way up and overhead through here. Now, as I get stronger, what I can do is actually then work through a longer lever, so with my elbows straight and then going up and over. Okay, so that's 5 different types of vertical pulls that you can do in and around your home with a few little bits of equipment. Let me know how you get on, and I'll see you in the next video.